Welcome back, everybody, to the Michael Babcock All Sports Podcast. This is really it's going great down here. I tried to start out with a joke last week, but it didn't work. It wasn't funny. But this week, I'm just not even going to try at a joke. But, we're running out of content, about 1 week in. So it's going great. It's going great. But today, guys, I'm also very excited because we have a new guest. We have Nathaniel. How's it going?
I don't think we're sure on jokes, Michael. You started off a podcast, so.
Oh my God!
Shots fired already.
Oh my God! Okay.
How long were you thinking about that one?
5 seconds.
5 seconds, man. So this is the witty humor we've all been looking for in this podcast. So we have Nathaniel in the booth. We also have Angelo. How's it going?
It's going pretty good. Got a lot of NBA talk today.
Yeah, we got a lot of NBA talk. A surprising amount, quite frankly. Then we have Ryan.
Hello, everyone.
Going good with Ryan.
sorry, I couldn't make it last week. Sorry.
Yeah. Roman, how's it going?
It's going pretty good.
Roman, I do want to address, so you were just shouting at me. I would like an official apology on the radio. Roman, do you apologize?
No.
Oh my God,
No.
okay. Andrew, who's currently working on the Chromebook I'm reading from, which is always great. A computer. But anyway, how's it going?
It's going pretty great, Michael. I'm sorry if I'm getting too much in your way with the editing, but because I do have to finish up.
He's a very busy man. You see, he's really trying to put this content together. But you know what?
He deserves a lot of our respect.
He does deserve our respect.
We're moments away from a fight between Michael and Andrew.
No, we were not.
We were
It was closer between me and Michael, if anything.
See, but my friends, we're not fighting here, but we are getting buff with Ryan and Michael. So today we actually brought in Nathaniel pretty much solely for this one purpose. He's one buff dude, okay, and we want to learn his ways. So Nathaniel, tell me, how can we get buff?
Well, personally, I follow Mike Mentzer's system of high-intensity training. You see, for most generally people, going high volume isn't really worth it unless you want to spend hours in the gym. So somewhere between a rep range of 6 to 12 with medium weight that you can handle and then you feel pretty exhausted after handling and then you need to take a break between sets is literally a scientifically proven way of building muscle mass.
But I've always heard that, half the battle is the diet. So what would you recommend for our diet?
That's quite true. I'd say take your body weight, and that's about 33% of the protein grams you should be taking. For example, if I weigh 150 pounds, which I do, I should be taking 100 grams of protein a day.
100 grams of protein a day.
It's
oh
a
my
lot,
God!
But if you want to really optimize,
look,
that's
I'm
a good
also
amount.
about 150 pounds, and I want to get buff. Same with Ryan. He's weak. I'm weak. Oh, extremely weak, actually.
Look, if you want,
and look, how much
emotionally
and physically, though.
Bring me through one regular day with Nathaniel's.
I want to envision what you're doing to a day-to-day basis.
Look, I want to clarify that you can still get progress if you're eating less than that, but that's just ideal. And if my personal experience and what I've heard from professional bodybuilders I've met, going over that amount won't yield any results.
I understand that, but my question to you is that when I was talking with you earlier in the studio, you were mentioning eating loads of pasta and carbs as well as the protein. You eat 4 packets of ramen a day?
Yeah, you mentioned ramen.
Yeah, so
my question will this kill me if I attempt this diet?
No.
Will I die?
No, but you can get sick if you overdo it. I personally just eat a lot of protein powder, not because I really prefer it that much, because I just don't eat meat for environmental concerns, and fish is quite expensive for me.
Okay, so here's what I want to say, Ryan. Ryan, you can talk, whatever.
So compared to some other diets, how does the cost of
it's extremely cheap. Ramen is already, as the general public stereotypes it as correctly, extremely cheap. It's like 50 cents to $1 for a single ramen pack, and they fill you up pretty well. And also, the protein powder, it's also like $1 or 50 cents less than that for a single scoop. So you're really, compared to other foods, you're barely costing yourself anything at all.
So me and Ryan here, we are prepared for an entire week of this hell that is ramen and protein powder. Do you have any last words for us as we enter into this week and attempt to get buff?
I would say vary between eating raw protein powder and shakes, because I find if you focus on one too much, you tend to feel like you're going to throw up. So you need to switch between the two.
Wait, so what is in the shakes?
Just usually almond milk and protein powder.
Just to clarify, this won't kill me, right?
Won't kill you.
Eating 4
Also-
packets of ramen and multiple protein shakes a day will not kill me.
It will not kill you. Although,
Can you write down a schedule for me every day of what to eat? Because it's kind of complicated.
Sure. If you're a dunce. Anyway, as I was saying before, the thing with protein powder is that it gets into your system immediately. So if you want to maximize your muscle gain throughout the day, you should split it up. So you can't just eat all of it in one sitting, which is probably physically impossible.
This is very interesting, but I'm going to have to cut you off because Angelo is bored out of his mind. Look, I'm just trying to bring to you guys diverse content, but apparently you don't want to hear about me and Ryan getting buff live on air.
Michael, there are some reasons why people are twinks.
Yeah, I think Angelo is one of those. Anyway, so let's get in to the NBA.
So I'm
Are you calling
going
me
back
gay?
on this
going back?
this discussion. If you guys are interested in our journey through this diet, catch us on our vlogs on the air,
on the podcast every week.
on the podcast every week.
Yeah, I don't even understand. Like,
If you want, if you want your own show, we got Tuesday and Thursday open.
yeah,
for uploads,
okay.
so.
Well, thank you, Andrew. You know, Andrew is a
Catch us
production
every
manager
Tuesday
here.
and Thursday.
Tuesday and Thursday. We're just gonna be every single day. We'll be.
Getting buff with Michael and Ryan.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go to the NBA in review here. Let's talk about Anthony Davis. Will he be traded? Everybody, let's go around the table of discussion here. Andrew, what do you think?
Well, I don't know too much about Anthony Davis in particular. I know.
Oh, my question.
What
My
team does
question.
he play on, Andrew? What team?
This is why I'm the production manager.
My question, Andrew. Do you know anything about sports at all?
I know a lot about sports in general, about how stuff works, and I do know a lot about my home team, but I'm not super big about the around table thing.
Nathaniel, what do you think of him not knowing anything?
I think
Nathaniel, what team is he on?
I don't know baseball.
Nobody knows anything. It's really
My
great.
opinion of Anthony Davis is that he has 2 first names. I'm trying to decide whether that's cool or not.
Yeah.
I think it is.
He's got a
I think
unibrow.
it's cool.
You think
That's what
two
he's
names
he's
is
got a
cool?
unibrow.
I like his name.
Okay.
AD.
Let's get back on topic.
Kevin Durant has a better name.
Will he be traded? Question mark.
Probably.
I think
Probably from Nathaniel.
I don't think they will want to trade him.
You do not think at all. They're going to say he has 2 first names. Disgusting.
I think he's
Get him
too
out.
valuable to their team.
Exactly.
Mhm.
That's good arguments. Angelo, do you agree with that?
He's getting traded. Come on, give me a break.
Why do you think that is?
Angelo is right. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, he is the most valuable player on their team. Well, they only have that value for so long. He is going to leave in free agency if they don't trade him now. Now is the perfect time to get the most value out of him before he leaves.
It'd be a completely different story if the Pelicans were playoff contenders, at least, you know, at least top 6 seeds, not, top like 8 or something. They're not even gonna make the playoffs. Let's be honest here. There's just no way at this point. So to their credit, the Lakers are offering trades. They can get a lot of young players out of this whole deal and ship AD to where he wants to go and get a lot of talent in return instead of keeping him and just losing him in free agency. There's no reason why he shouldn't be traded. He's going to get traded. The thing is, though, he wants to go to the Lakers, but recently he just said that he would be okay with the Knicks, and the Knicks just cleared up a lot of cap space with the Porzingis trade. And I'm excited to see how this plays out. I could only see him going to the Lakers, though, at this point.
Beautiful point. But Roman, butting in here, what do you think?
You know what? I think this reminds me a lot of the Kawhi Leonard situation just last year. He had an injury. Davis is currently injured. He will be back pretty soon. But Kawhi Leonard got injured, and he just kind of sat out the whole season. He said he wanted to be traded, and people thought he was just going to go to Lakers. But there was a trade between the Spurs and the Raptors, and Kawhi Leonard got sent to Toronto. And Toronto is one of the best teams in the league right now. So I'm wondering if a situation where, let's say, Anthony Davis goes to like a pretty decent team, and then they start becoming like real good, and that's what I'm wondering. If he is traded to a contending team right now, I'm not 100% sure that he will end up in Los Angeles.
Nathaniel, what do you think of this?
I completely agree with Angelo here. I think he makes some very good points, actually.
Really, what points did he make?
Well, if you have an agent that's above the quality of your team generally, who can find a better opportunity elsewhere, they're going to do that. And you should get what use of them.
That made way too much sense.
That's a very, I mean, it's all right.
That's a big thing in this situation, is Anthony Davis' agent, Rich Paul.
Beautiful.
That's an unbelievable point by Nathaniel.
The unbelievable comeback.
We are all in complete shock. But anyway, let's move on. This question took a while, but the next one is pretty interesting also, with what teams need to trade, people. What teams, I repeat, need to trade? Ryan, what do you think?
I mean, definitely I think the Knicks are a prime contender for one of the top teams that need to bring in new talent to their team.
They're also the number one contender for the first overall pick in the draft right now.
Yeah, I'm with Roman. The Knicks, I would believe that they really shouldn't be trading. Just leave their roster as is. Try and, there's not really many there's not really many situations where you want to encourage your team to tank, but this team, you gotta tank.
Gotta tank it, baby. Okay, anybody else have an opinion on this one? Ooh, Andrew! What do you think?
I think I definitely agree with Roman. They need to get themselves out there, and they need to just not.
That's not what I said.
They need to. I don't know, man. I'm just stepping in out of the editing corner, but honestly, I agree with you guys. What you guys said, for sure.
Okay.
For sure.
Great point.
For sure. Don't
Great
forget the
point.
for sure.
What about that Porzingis?
Wait, we can't just talk about one team trading.
Oh wait, you
yeah,
have more? There's more going on.
Oh yeah,
Angelo.
There's always more going on.
I think another team that we should look at trading would be the Nets.
The nuts.
The Nets. I think it's kind of weird to say that the Nets are playoff contenders here, but they have a lot of young talent on that team. You have Spencer Dinwiddie, Jarrett Allen. There's definitely talent for the future, right?
That's very odd.
You gonna mention D'Lo? He's an all-star.
Yeah, I mean, of course, there were the young guys.
There's so many good people. It's hard to list them all.
Angelo Russell's probably the best player on that team. So, that being said, they have a lot of young talent. I think what they need to do here is bring in either another superstar or a solid player that'll, put in 30 minutes a game, do what he needs to do. That'll bump these guys up to, if they're 6th seed right now, they could compete with those Boston Celtics, Indiana Pacers without Victor Oladipo. They could pass them up. They could jump a few spots up here, and we could see them make a playoff run. Maybe bring in some veteran players to help out these younger guys who haven't had playoff experience. Bring in some veterans who have had playoff experience. Help these young guys develop. I think this team is a playoff contender 2-3 years time. Like, they're a powerhouse in the East.
Roman?
And you want I want to see Anthony Davis to the Nets. The Nets have a lot of young pieces, and I'm pretty sure.
Way.
I mean,
Whoa, Nathaniel,
listen,
Nathaniel.
here's the thing. The
These
Nets,
attentions.
they're in Brooklyn. That's New York. That's a big market team. People want to go to big markets. That's why in this most recent offseason, people were always talking about the Lakers, even if they are not the best team. They want to play in those big cities. They want to get those big sponsorship deals. And
When's the last time a big name player went to Brooklyn?
Whoa.
Said, I want to play for the Nets.
I mean, it has been a decent time. but no, they're in the playoffs now. I remember a time back when they started their whole kind of championship run back in the early 2010s. They got guys like Joe Johnson, Darren Williams. They got their quote unquote big three in Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, and Jason Terry.
Sure, they weren't
very good there, but those were marquee free agents that went to Brooklyn. This is Brooklyn. This is a big market. I think that there's a chance that Anthony Davis, I'm not saying he'll stay for his entire career, but I think that Anthony Davis has a chance of going to the Nets and continuing to play with the Nets for a long period of time.
No way.
Ryan, chiming in with his expert opinion, what do you think?
I'm walking here.
Jesus Christ. Nathaniel, what do you think of the situation?
I think that Roman's point makes the most logical sense. However, I do believe that history trumps logic in this example because really, we have to base this off our own experiences. So I will side with Angelo here.
What? So you think that Roman is logically correct, but factually, Angelo is correct.
Yeah, Roman's point makes sense. However, it just doesn't apply, and it should apply. However, we don't know why it doesn't apply. All we know that is Angelo's point is the one that's factual.
Wow. Factuality versus logicality going on right here. Roman?
But let's remember, during that time when the Brooklyn Nets were terrible, they had Billy King as their GM. And if you know anything about Billy King, he is one of the worst GMs in the league. He single-handedly screwed over Allen Iverson's pretty much entire career and prime with the 76ers. And he pretty much ruined that entire team of the Brooklyn Nets up until now. He's gone. He's been long gone. There's new managing. There's a new coaching staff. There's a new team. I think that this could definitely happen.
Wow. Well, we have quite a few battle of wits going. I said this a couple of weeks ago, but now it's coming back again. This is some great minds colliding into one and forming the ultimate duel of fates.
I mean, we're not that close together physically.
Okay, shut up. Next question.
I have a couple things.
Andrew is coming in. Oh my God.
So I definitely agree with Roman on the fact that the Knicks aren't the best team, especially for players who want to get their career.
We're talking about the Nets.
We have But you were talking about the Knicks.
Yeah, like 10 minutes ago.
Not 10 minutes, I would know, because then we wouldn't need to pad for runtime. Anyways, I think with the Knicks, personally, I think that the Knicks aren't, for sure, like you said, they're not the team that an all-star player would go. I'm going to use a really shitty example, but if Giannis were to go and be out of Milwaukee, which we know he won't, but if he would, he wouldn't go to the Knicks.
Okay, of course he wouldn't go to the Knicks. We hate the Knicks.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
But anyways,
you'd never join Mario Hezonja.
Good time.
Yeah.
Good time. Andrew said something completely irrelevant to a different conversation we're having 10 minutes ago. I wanted you to chime in on this Brooklyn Nets thing, but I was disappointed.
Well, the Brooklyn...
Roman was disappointed.
If you want me to talk about the Brooklyn Nets, I guess I can throw my hat into the ring on that aspect. The Brooklyn Nets, as you said... What did you say about the Brooklyn Nets? Anyways, I completely agree with Roman on whatever he said about the Brooklyn Nets. Very much true. I see that Ryan has a question. I'm going to steal Michael's job for a second and direct you to him.
Wait, okay, can I just explain? You're not stealing my job. You're just walking away in defeat and trying to transfer it to another person. Ryan, how is it?
It's going pretty good.
Yeah.
So I don't have a question. I just would like to state my opinion.
Go right ahead.
Alright, so I agree with Roman because I think coaching and just the general staff is an instrumental part of a team. And because they got rid of some of the worst parts of their coaching staff and just general manager, I feel like this team is a lot better for it, and in the future they're gonna be something big.
They're gonna be very big. Nathaniel can attest to that. How big will they be, Nathaniel? large. Okay. I mean, that's alright. It's not that big. The next question for all of you boys is, what do you think of that poor Zingis? That poor Zingis? Quite the poor man, but let's talk about that trade.
Making that name up?
Poor Zingis? No, that's his legitimate
Kristaps
name.
Porzingis, that's his real name.
Porzingis is his real name, I know.
Foreigner.
He sounds like.
Foreign.
He sounds like.
Come on, Ryan.
He is.
Wow, Ryan, okay.
He is
There's
foreign.
nothing wrong with it.
Yeah,
I'm not-
okay, I understand.
He sounds like a
Giannis is a
superhero
foreigner.
you
We're
find
not
in a
laughing
cereal
at
box.
Maybe Michael's laughing at
Yeah.
him.
Anyway, anybody have any comments, questions, concerns? Roman.
I would like to say I hate this trade. Straight up, straight down. I hate this trade. No one won this trade. This is a trade I don't see anyone winning. I mean, also you got a team like the Mavericks. Sure, they got Porzingis, but they traded away guys like Wesley Matthews and DeAndre Jordan and Dennis Smith. Those are core parts of their team. Those guys can produce. Those guys can put up numbers. Sure, there's expiring contracts in Matthews and Jordan, but they're probably going to re-sign them at least or something. That was a good team that had some good foundations, and they kind of broke some of their foundations to get another foundation, but it just doesn't quite fit in. And they also got some pretty bad contracts in guys like Trey Burke. I mean, paying Trey Burke anything more than a jar of mustard is an overpaid contract at this point. And they also got, Courtney Lee? I don't even know he's still in the league at this point. I mean, jeez.
I haven't heard such hate since I heard Nathaniel's opinions on minorities. I'm sorry, Nathaniel. It was just too easy to go to you. Anyway, my God,
again,
you were.
I am
That
sold
was.
out
Oh my God.
by
Angelo, you are walking on rocky territory right now. If you say your opinion, he might go violent on you.
I might go sicko mode.
Okay, I gotta say, Roman definitely had an opinionated viewpoint on this. I love this trade. This had to be one of the best trades I've seen. I could not this trade helped both teams in such a great way that it's I honestly don't know where Roman's coming
You
from.
call yourself an expert, and
Okay, so here's my viewpoint on it. Right now, in the Western Conference, any team in the Western Conference is in what we like to call the Golden State era. It's been going on for the past 3 years, maybe a little longer than that, but it's the Warriors era, right? No one's taking down this dynasty in a 7-game series in the playoffs. If you'd be psycho to think that Dallas has a chance at doing that this year.
Are you calling poor Roman a psycho?
no,
right
I
I'm
never
saying they
said
have. I'm saying they have less than no chance.
But
now? Wait. Just clarify your opinion on Roman in general as a human being. Is he psycho?
no.
Okay, no, good. Okay,
I
continue.
concur.
But
I did hand in my comb so he could stab Angelo, but he didn't do it.
What are you to?
Wait,
oh,
were you
It's
just
a sharp comb.
But look, both of these teams are preparing for the future. The Mavericks, especially in that Western Conference, are preparing for the post-Warriors era, okay? DeMarcus Cousins is gone after the season. Kevin Durant most likely gone after the season. Then on the Warriors, you have Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green. Could Klay Thompson leave? It's a possibility. Then you only have Steph Curry and Draymond Green. This team is vulnerable. They are a beatable team. At that point, you now have Luka Doncic, who is going to win Rookie of the Year if he continues this production for the rest of the season. He's the Rookie of the Year. Kristaps Porzingis, he's 23 years old, 24, still very young. He's going to be in this league for a long time. He's the unicorn. Both of these guys together, it's a great duo. They dumped off dead weight with DeAndre Jordan. Look, DeAndre Jordan, he might be an elite paint protector, but bringing in Kristaps Porzingis is the future. They don't need talent right now. They're looking at the future. They already said Kristaps most likely will not play this season. That's okay with them. They can tank, get a better draft pick in this upcoming draft, maybe get fifth pick, get a solid player for the future. Now you have Luka Doncic, you have Kristaps Porzingis, another young player, and you brought in a little bit more talent from the Knicks. Not much, but there is some talent there. And I honestly love this trade for the Mavericks side. Now looking at the Knicks side, the Knicks honestly do not have too much talent there. Now, Enes Kanter, I mean, he's a solid player. DeAndre Jordan, solid player, but I mean, the future first round picks are what could be huge. The Knicks getting possibly the first pick in this draft is what's going to be their franchise changer. So I'm excited to see how the Knicks change their franchise. They're going to have plenty of cap space this offseason. Bring in a major player with maybe Zion Williamson. They could be a big team in the upcoming years. I'm excited to see it.
I would like to mention Enes Kanter, or as Roman would like to say, Enes Kanter.
That's his real name. You're saying it wrong.
Yeah. Enes
So wait,
Kanter is
Angelo
how
was
you say
saying it wrong. So
I don't care how I say it.
Enes
oh, okay.
Kanter is-
I was wondering because
Enes and
I was wondering because in I just want to be accurate on our podcast, not our podcast, on our weekly newscast. I want to be accurate because as Roman said, if you are an avid viewer, he said Enes Kanter. So I just was
At
clarifying
least you're
that.
not like
Thank
Andrew
you.
said Victor Oladipo.
Oladipo.
Thank you for the
Oh,
clarification.
At least I didn't say it on camera. I made him say Luka Doncic in the first one. Please don't watch that first video. Please.
Watch it.
Watch it. Give it a like. Give it a thumbs up. Comment.
Roman,
We'll
what
put
do
it
you
in
what do you
the-
have to
Alright.
say?
And one of the main reasons I don't like the Mavericks side of this trade is that you don't know if Kristaps is going to be half of what he was before coming this season. What was it, an Achilles injury? That's a major injury. He's been out for over a year, and he hasn't been playing basketball. That is huge.
What was DeMarcus Cousins' injury?
It was an Achilles injury.
I rest my case. DeMarcus Cousins is having an outstanding season.
Sure, some
so
people
far with
can
the
come
Warriors.
back, but especially when you got people that are more kind of tall and like lanky, they have sort of weaker muscles.
What position does
Guys,
DeMarcus Cousins play?
Can I
Who's
just
taller?
say?
It's not even close.
Can I just say I'm happy that there's a divider between you two, or else there would be some violent action going on right now. We have two diverse opinions here, but also Nathaniel, how's it going? You look very depressed. My God, he's hanging on by a thread right
I know
now.
for a fact that it depends on the bodybuilder's genetics and form and whether they can come back from an injury, and that most likely applies to other sports such as basketball. For example,
So it depends on his body type. Great. Okay,
and
next
his
opinion.
genetics.
It's a very
injury. It's all very conditional.
Yeah.
Because there's so many bodybuilders that came back after injury, but there's also others I can name that had one injury.
One-hit wonders.
And then they were out. And I have reason to
One
believe
hit.
it's the same way with basketball.
Oh my god.
You know, it is. It
We
is
don't
very
know-
similar in
We
basketball.
don't know how bad this Achilles heel is. We just know it's bad. There's no rating system.
Well,
don't
if I
know
could
his
rate
genetics
this
either.
conversation, I'd give it a 10 out of 10.
And
again.
Would rate again, yeah.
And obviously, injuries are a complicated issue. Some players, they get injured, they can't come back. One of the most famous cases, Greg Oden. He got injured once. Like, sure, he did play some games, but he got injured that one time, and that was pretty much his entire career. All right, we see players, Derrick Rose. I mean, sure, he's come back. He is still playing in the league. He put up 50 points this season. Impressive. But he could have been a lot more. He could have accomplished a lot more by this time if he hadn't have suffered that ACL injury in the playoffs, all right? We see some players, they just can't cover. But we see players that can recover. For example, DeMarcus Cousins with that Achilles injury. Joel Embiid was out for a while with an injury. He's come back. He's an all-star starter this season. Ben Simmons, another example. He was injured before the season. He came back. He's an all-star this year. It can happen. But the body type, like Nathaniel said, of Kristaps Porzingis is not well suited for sustaining a major injury like that. And that is why I don't think the Mavericks really did much for this trade. Now, on to the Knicks side. I don't think I need to explain much with the Knicks side. They got 1 year of DeAndre Jordan and Wesley Matthews. They're probably going to be gone. No one wants to stay with the Knicks. Thankfully, they don't have to play like 30 games before they can leave. They completely lost. I mean, sure, Kristaps did want to be traded. They got a decent bit of value in Dennis Smith Jr., but they just have too many guards, and that's just not going to work out. They have 2 future first-round picks, which, depending on if Kristaps can return to his form, could be worth something. But that's just really why this is a lose trade in my opinion.
Well, this was really to open up cap space for the Knicks, which they're going to do this offseason. They'll have plenty of cap space to go out and get a few players.
Okay, Ryan, do you want to talk?
Sure. I mean, going back on the injury, let's look at other sports. I mean, look at Andrew Luck, Deshaun Watson. They came back from an injury and then they both were in the playoffs.
Okay, thank God. I thought this question has
the
been
only
going
football
on.
That just shows
forever.
what the human body can do.
I thought for a second
Those are
we were going to
football
go
players.
to a completely
They've
different
trained
sport.
a lot different throughout their careers. Football and basketball are two very different sports.
Very
I
different.
think overall we'll rate this trade a good trade and move on.
Yeah.
I rate this trade a 2 out of 10.
Concluded.
I
Okay.
would rate
It
it
had draft
probably a
picks.
5
This
out
trade
of
is
10.
bad.
This trade is terrible. Nathaniel's correct. Let's move
this
on.
trade is great.
NBA
Why
All
would
Stars.
you trade people with actual names for like Jubinzinski or something?
Yeah,
Oh
seriously.
my god.
Seriously, I mean,
Disgusting.
legitimately.
Nick
Okay,
Stauskas.
next thing.
Next
NBA
topic.
All Stars. What do you guys think? Let's get in with the expert opinion, which is, of course, Andrew. What do you think?
Well, I do not host the expert opinion. I only
You're
write
not
out exactly
an
what
expert.
everyone will say. Just kidding. Anyway,
The expert opinion is unscripted.
yeah, it is. I was
Yeah,
making.
starring
a
me and
joke.
Angelo.
That joke was bad.
Like all
Well, that
of
was,
it was bad.
Just like any relationship I ever had.
Have
Which
you ever
is
had
0.
one? Current track record 0. Okay. Anybody have an opinion on the NBA All Stars? A legitimate one. Nathaniel, I know.
Oh,
he
yeah,
does.
Giannis is
Look,
pretty
guys,
good.
I'm being honest.
Nathaniel.
Nathaniel has been pestering me about how much he cares about the NBA All Stars. What do you think,
It's one of
Nathaniel?
my favorite video games.
What?
They're your favorite video.
You know, yeah,
games?
there was a video
Isn't there a
game.
video game called All Stars?
Oh wow.
Yeah, of course there is. There was like, I think it was
He's
like,
just coming out with the sauce.
Yeah. God. Okay.
yeah, that's what
well.
they used to. That's what they used to call.
What do you
like,
think of
some
the- what do you
they
think
call,
of
like, NBA All Star?
Oh, the video game's pretty cool actually. They have
Really?
like weird heads. It's
They have
funny.
weird. Yeah. Is
They
it
got like bobblehead.
rated out of
players.
10 for me? Quick review.
7 out of 10.
7 out of 10. Okay, that's good. You know, good
Well,
refresher.
I
good
didn't know that we were IGN, but sure, 7 out of 10 sounds good.
IGN is corrupt.
Whoa!
Whoa! Accusations flying.
This.
It's
No,
corrupt.
we're not
It's
talking about that
corrupt.
here.
Yeah.
This is sports time.
You can
Sports,
actually, if you
okay.
really want to talk about that, you can go on the esports podcast. If you guys want to see an esports
Wait,
podcast,
there's an esports podcast?
no, not esports. Actually, if you guys want to see an esports show, head down to the comments, tell us so, because we're talking with our friend Lucas and Eli Electro. Go check out his
If
channel, by
there
the
is-
way.
Wait, guys, if there's anybody that's listening to this podcast, they do not believe that esports is an actual sport. I can guarantee if somebody's listening about basketball, they are not going to believe that esports is a legitimate
Even if
We're
you
gonna
are-
have an
I'd
Overwatch
agree.
segment,
Yeah.
Press a couple buttons.
which
that's not
features
sport.
me.
Even if you are, guys, make sure to just comment on about that.
That's gonna show up
Subscribe to
social
Eli Electro.
And if you want more females,
This is why we don't.
No,
oh my
no
God.
females, baseball bros.
Baseball bros
the
before
bro.
baseball.
Anyway, Angelo, what do you think about the All Stars?
I think it's there's not much to say about it other than I really don't believe there was any big players who really got snipped this year, other than maybe Rudy Gobert, who's had a solid season. He didn't make it. I think for the most part, the players that were chosen were the right players. Voters did pretty good on that part of it. I like the matchup here, though. That's the big thing. Giannis versus LeBron, two similar sized people. Of course, LeBron can shoot a little bit better. He's the more all-around player. But Giannis, I'd say, has more spark, more explosion. He's, of course, much younger, which is why. But it'll definitely be interesting to see what type of players these guys surround them with. I can only assume that Giannis would surround himself with guards that can shoot, and maybe LeBron. I would only expect to do the same. So it's gonna be interesting in the draft to see the value of players and the value of big men and how important these guys will be, because in this game I think you need one or two good big men and try and surround yourself with guards, and that can score the most points for you. This game is all about scoring. It's the All-Star game. We've seen it every year. So I'm really excited. This is the first year the draft is gonna be broadcasted on TV. That's very interesting. I feel like it's more of a stunt than anything by the NBA, but it's definitely a well-performed stunt.
Great
and
stunts.
I'm excited to see this.
You could say the NBA is a stunt man or stunt company.
That was not a good joke.
Or you could not.
Roman.
I would like to say most of the All-Stars, they're fair picks, but I would like to say I'm not 100% in agreement with the All-Star choice of Nikola Vucevic. Now he's been,
Vucevic?
yeah. I've heard it both ways.
Oh, Angelo can actually pronounce that name
I've heard it
correctly.
both.
I've heard it both ways. Okay.
I've never heard Vucevic.
Wait, guys. Nathaniel, how do you say it?
Huh?
How do you say his name? What's his
Vucevic.
shot?
Okay. So Nikola Vucevic, he's
I'm actually Slavic. Trust me.
Yeah, trust him. Come on,
Don't
guys.
appropriate my culture.
I'm sorry.
You look Canadian.
Please,
Fucking stab you.
Whoa!
please call him Vucevic or don't.
This is
talk
the
about
first
him.
threat of violence on this show so far. Roman, what are you saying?
And I don't think he's had decent seasons throughout his career, but I don't think he's really deserving of an NBA All-Star. I think that, he falls under the forward section. I don't know, maybe a guy like Jason Tatum could be in there. He's been having a decent season, and I would say maybe not better than Vucevic, but his team has been significantly better than the Magic has. And that's the kind of thing you gotta consider. Sure, could be a good player on a very bad team, but that's not going to be much than if you're a good player on a very good team like the Celtics. You go ahead, Red.
I feel like it's not about the overall team performance.
Thank you.
I feel like it's all about how
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you.
how an individual has been playing during the season.
That it?
That's all I have to say.
It's real. Okay, wait. Roman, give me a second. I just want to compliment Ryan here. You keep it short and sweet, unlike these two guys, which are just long and grueling.
I try
Roman.
to make sure the listeners know what's going on.
I applaud Ryan.
Yeah, I applaud. Me and Nathaniel group applaud. Well, two people. It's not really a group.
Thank you.
There we go. Three
Free the
people.
crowd.
I applaud Nathaniel because he always finds a way to look at a different topic from a different direction, and I really like that.
Yeah, except usually his direction is trash.
Oh my
Whoa.
god! Oh
You
my
want
god!
to make those claims?
Oh my god! Roman, what do you gotta say?
And anyway, the All-Star game, it's not completely about individual performance. It's about who is an all-star. Like, who is a star? Nikola Vucevic, if you want to make it pronounced all perfectly, he is not a star. He is not even close to a star. I'd say Al Horford's probably more of a star than Nikola Vucevic, honestly. So I really don't think that he was the most deserving of this all-star. But the Magic haven't had an all-star since, I believe it was Dwight Howard. So you know what? I'll let them have this one.
Oh dear God, Angelo wants to butt in.
Dude,
Guys,
your face
Oh,
right
dear
now is
God.
Scary.
this is gonna be another round here.
Freaking Texas
Angelo,
Chainsaw Massacre.
how do you have to disagree with him? What's your disagreement now?
Vucevic is a great player. It's
But now the butt.
This is why.
He's a great
This
player.
is why we have the
but-
expert opinion, so you two can argue. But then the one day that you actually argue and don't agree on anything, we're filming the freaking podcast. What are the odds, man? I don't know.
Vucevic is a
10 to
great
1.
player. I definitely believe he deserves this All-Star. Look, he's an inside-outside threat. He can score from deep. He can score inside. He's a rebounding guy. He can grab boards.
He's a center.
Yeah, and
He's everything.
And he can shoot
He's
well.
God.
And I think his shooting is
Jesus.
definitely
He's
He's
Allah. I don't know what God. Who's God?
His shooting
You
is
mean
He's the new
underrated.
prophet. He's walking on water right now.
Oh my God.
I honestly can't believe the takes that are coming from that person at the table right there.
Not even using his name now. We have
Honestly-
reduced him
What-
so much.
what-
Wait,
crazy.
wait,
What about-
guys,
What about what I
guys.
said?
You guys, everyone is making good points, but all I have to say is that if you feel like you're being harassed, know that there's a place for you. Just Seek help. Don't be afraid. No means no.
I'm afraid right now. Ryan, I'm
You
just
should
honest
be
with you.
afraid, Michael.
Currently, we're having some issues in our workplace that are being sorted out, and we'll let you know more information as it advances.
This is just undisputed. This is all it is.
This is why we don't let women on the set.
What?
Okay, guys. Look, I think we've had a good discussion over this
I
one.
just got the joke.
Let's move on to the next game. The game of the week, actually. Celtics versus Thunder. What do you boys think?
I think lightning strikes not in the same place twice. So I'm going to go with Thunder because
Because analogy.
Because of the analogy, yeah.
All right, that's take Angie. All right, Angelo, I'm gonna let you go first this time. I've been going first a lot throughout these debates.
hey, geez, let Angelo go, guys.
I'm gonna take the Thunder in this one. The Thunder have been playing really well. Paul George, of course, beat out Anthony Davis for All-Star starter. Paul George has had a spectacular season so far. Him and Russell Westbrook at the guard spot, unbelievable season so far. Steven Adams, Nerlens Noel inside, great duo there. I could see the Celtics winning this one, but overall I'm gonna have to go with the Thunder. I believe that they can win this.
Beautiful,
Right.
beautiful.
First off, Paul George is a forward.
Oh my God.
Let's just clarify that
Wait,
right now.
guys, can I just say something? Do you agree on anything ever?
Wait,
We agreed.
was there a disagreement here?
No, Paul George is a forward.
Yeah.
You said he was a guard.
I'd like to clarify that he's a small forward.
They agree. Oh my God, Nathaniel, you hear this? You hear this? They agree on
I
something.
do indeed hear that.
My God, Ryan, maybe it worked. Maybe you are making
I'm
bridges
sorry.
right now.
We're gonna end this right now. The Thunder are not gonna win this game. All right.
Oh my
Honestly,
God.
just look at the Celtics roster. They have a very stacked roster, and their roster goes deep. The Thunder don't have the best. They don't have the best depth like the Celtics do. Sure, they have a great backup in Dennis Schroeder. They have a great backup center in Nerlens Noel. But especially in those middle parts, especially at like shooting guard and power forward, they're pretty weak there, even at their starters. And their bench is going to get demolished by the forward tandem of guys like Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Gordon Hayward. You know, the post presence that Al Horford can have, all right, is amazing. You're not going to stop that. Even a guy like Steven Adams. Al Horford is an offensive machine. And then, of course, there's a big matchup. Kyrie Irving and Russell Westbrook right there. Unfortunately, Russell Westbrook has been horribly inefficient this entire season, all right? And his defense is decent, but against probably one of the best shot creators of all time in Kyrie Irving, I just don't see that holding up. I'm pretty sure the Celtics are going to pull this one out pretty easily.
Oh my God, Angelo, what do you disagree with?
No, I'd have to actually agree with
Oh my God, this is the best thing in my entire life right now.
with what he said. I mean, Russell Westbrook honestly hasn't been playing well. I believe he's last place in the league for percent on pull-up jump shots, for field goal percentage wise. I think a lot of this game is actually going to come down to the matchup of Russell Westbrook versus Kyrie Irving. And we've seen how Kyrie has that ability to control games. We've seen this from both players. But I've seen this more from Kyrie Irving this season.
It's been more consistent with Kyrie.
We've seen Kyrie, even though he's not had maybe the best year to his abilities this year, I think he's played better than Westbrook this season. And I think if Kyrie definitely outshines Westbrook, this game is going to the Celtics. But my prediction stands as I think that OKC will take the game.
Okay, any other opinions on that one? Nope. I do want to mention Nathaniel is currently looking on a Wikipedia page of basketball.
I'm trying to further my education.
And what have you learned, sir?
So basketball is apparently invented by a Canadian. It's like, why they
Oh
gotta
wow, I
steal
already
our
hate the
culture?
sport. Wow, I thought it was pretty cool until I discovered that part. Anything else?
They used to blow up pigs' organs and
Wow.
use that as balls
Why don't they still do that? I wonder why not.
to PETA.
My grandfather used like a sock filled with butter as like a basketball.
Okay,
That's
okay,
nice.
everybody. What's wrong with your grandfather?
He was a legend at basketball.
Okay,
though.
okay. Guys, let's just conclude up with my favorite segment, even better than getting buff with Ryan and Michael. Let's conclude with Angelo's stats. What do you got for us?
Thank you. I definitely have some solid stats.
Lots.
I hate
And
to,
quality.
I hate to do this,
Quantity and quality.
but I'm gonna have to pull up Nikola Vucevic's stats. Just
Vucevic's?
a quick overview. This season he's shooting. He is shooting .378% from three, averaging 3.1 attempts from deep. So he's clearly a solid 3-point shooter, which I'd like to point out. He's shooting .521% from the field. He's averaging over 20 points per game, 12 boards a game, and nearly 4 assists. He's had a great season. So I'd like to get that out of the way to show that he does deserve an all-star game. But looking over at team stats, I'd like to point out that the Warriors have the best offensive rating in the league by actually a decent amount, but their defensive rating is actually more in the middle of the league, which can be surprising because they do have a lot of players on that team who can play defensively and offensively. Klay Thompson, Draymond Green. But I think DeMarcus Cousins might be even a liability defensively, even though we see him as such an all-around center. Other than that, I'd like to point out the Milwaukee Bucks are the only team in the NBA who are top 5 in offensive rating and defensive rating, and that I believe is one of the top reasons that they are the best team in the NBA record-wise right now. I believe that Greg Popovich might be having one of his best coaching seasons with the Spurs because he hasn't had. This is a year he's without Kawhi Leonard. He's with a new player in DeMar DeRozan. He's having to deal with either older players or younger players that aren't seen as good as some other players, and he's keeping that team as a playoff contender. Teams that I'm looking to do better in the future, maybe this season, I would definitely see Chicago maybe even doing a lot better than they are right now. I can see Lauri Markkanen breaking out at one point, and some of those younger players having breakouts at any point. And that's all I got.
Oh God, we have Roman.
You know
Oh,
what?
Jesus.
You know what? You're talking about Nikola Vucevic stats, sure. Some of those stats are great, but his field goal percentage, only 52%. This is a center we're talking about, all right? This isn't like a point guard shooting 52%.
That's
This
solid.
isn't a point guard shooting. Centers shoot on average, I think it's around like 57, 58%. And especially a guy who's really one of the only guys who can really put up points on that team. 52%, it is not a good percentage, especially for a center like Nikola Vucevic.
If he's one of the main guys putting up points, they're going to double cover him.
Ooh, Roman just shut up really quickly.
Double.
Do you have a counterpoint?
Double trouble, may I mention?
Oh, double trouble, may I mention? I'm sorry.
Unfortunately, they
Like
probably
everybody.
won't be double guarding because they only really need a single player to guard a guy, especially if they're on the Magic. All right, they're not going to waste defensive energy.
They're not gonna waste it. Come on, Angelo.
Yeah, come on, Ange.
Come on,
He's a
Ange.
decent scorer. That's really all I can give. As well, I don't see him doing very good on interior defense. He's averaging less than a block a game for his career, and especially when you got a guy like Vucevic, he should be performing better on the defensive end, especially in the interior. He's getting very little blocks. Now, he is putting up a decent amount of steal numbers, pretty similar amount to his blocks, but that's not the numbers we look for in a center. We look for blocks. I think a solid rim protecting center should get at least 2 blocks a game, and in his career, he's only averaging .9.
I'd like to say quickly that the number 20th person in the NBA in field goal percentage is at 53.6%, which means that Nikola Vucevic is pretty close to that number. He's up there.
This was a lot of stats. My God, you really lived up to the Angelo stats name. Good job, Angelo. That's actually kind of impressive that you can get that many stats in like 2 seconds. But anyway, everybody.
Also, Nikola Vucevic is already 28.
Wow. That wraps up our show, everybody. Everybody, I just want to say, Nathaniel, can you take us away? Can you tell our loyal listeners what to do on our channel?
Well, to summarize, and there are many things that they can do.
They can do many things, correct?
Yes.
Like what?
Subscribe, like, donate to the Patreon, enter the gift card.
But you're missing one thing.
What?
It starts with ding and ends with dong.
They can ding dong.
They can hit that bell.
No, Andrew, you idiot.
I'm done.
Hit that bell, guys. Remember to comment down below any
And eat that
suggestions.
protein powder.
Eat that protein powder.
And stay tuned for Getting Buff with Michael Babcock and Ryan Louis. We'll see you next week.
Let's